Hey, I'm Isaac Hyman. Welcome back to another Retention Age episode. On this episode, we're talking about my $100 million email pop-up playbook and how your brand can get anywhere from 50% to 25% sign-up rates with this plan. Now, a lot of brands understand that there's a pop-up that exists on your site. Maybe Klaviyo turns it on for you, or you've turned it on years ago, or you're using a vendor like Alia Popups and you're kind of getting their opt-in rates. But what I want to share with you is exactly not just a specific tactic or vendor. I want to share with you the strategy behind a high-performing pop-up, how to build it kind of for yourself, and also how to take your pop-ups beyond just capturing email, but turning into a high-performing acquisition and retention machine for your business, just like the 9 and 10-figure brands are doing right now. Let's jump right in. So let's be honest, most brands settle for 3% opt-in rates. I'm going to get you to 25%. This session will break down the history and evolution of pop-ups, from those annoying ones that took place at the beginning of the internet, right, in 1995 through the year 2010 or so, super annoying pop-ups, the psychology behind high converting acquisition, and that's what pop-ups really are. They're really just meant to acquire customers for you, right, acquire leads. And if you understand acquisition, you'll understand pop-ups. It kind of goes hand in hand. I'm going to share with you the exact ingredients behind the 25% opt-in rates that the top brands are using for their pop-ups. I'm going to give you advanced personalization strategies for your pop-ups used by the 9 and 10-figure brands, the top 1%, the creme de la creme, and also how to go beyond just a pop-up, right, which is like a tactic. Anyone could do it. It's easy. Klaviyo builds it out automatically. Alia Popups does it for you. How to turn pop-up traffic into long-term retention revenue for your business. There's two sides of e-commerce. There's acquisition and retention. And I'm going to share with you how to acquire more emails and phone numbers, but also use your pop-ups beyond just acquiring. You can also use it for retention too. Let's start with a clear understanding of what your pop-ups are doing right now or what they're not doing. So for thousands of brands out there, you're paying Google and Meta and TikTok thousands of dollars every month for ads to drive traffic to your site. And you're treating them as either they're buying, these visitors are either going to buy or goodbye, right? There's two options. And then what Google and Meta convince you to do is to spend more money on ads to retarget them and bring them back to your site. So that's a death wheel for acquisition, because what's happening is that Google and Meta get rich, you're paying them to drive traffic to your site and paying them to win them back when they leave. Pop-ups are here to be the step that captures them and turns them from visitors into people, into subscribers. So that buy or goodbye mindset needs to disappear from your lexicon right away, right? Without pop-up acquisition, visitors come to your site and disappear forever. But with acquisition, you actually could turn your visitors into a relationship, right? And actually turn that 1 and 0, those X's and zeros and ones and zeros, the matrix, into an actual human being. Most brands treat a pop-up like this amazing design element, right? Nicely designed way to capture people, like almost like a homepage in some ways, and that's fine. But the top brands treat it like the acquisition system it really is, right? If your pop-up is not just about collecting emails, that's a ramification of it. You also can be identifying anonymous traffic when you get their email. You build relationships by asking them surveys and questions and quizzes. And you're creating personalized customer journeys once they sign up. And also, your pop-ups are meant to accelerate your conversion. So ditch the mindset of buy or goodbye, spending more on ads to get them to your site, and then spending more on ads to bring them back to your site. The pop-up is the middleman, the intermediary that's going to keep those visitors and turn them into customers. But aside from the actual goal of it, there's a lot of mini mistakes that are killing your new conversions every single time, right? For example, you're showing the same pop-up to everyone, and there's really no personalization within your pop-ups or in the follow-up experience. You're sending visitors back to the homepage where they started instead of taking them naturally into your store. There's maybe too many fields or too many sections on your pop-up trying to get more data, right? You have your email, then you have SMS, then you have a survey, and then you ask them to confirm their phone number. There's so many steps, it's almost like annoying. Some brands also have desktop-only optimization for their pop-ups, of just losing all that mobile traffic entirely. And also on top of that, you're not excluding your existing subscribers, and you're just showing them the pop-ups over and over, which just makes it super annoying. And you don't want to have an annoying customer, an annoying site experience. So those are some of the pop-up mistakes killing your new conversion that are also in line with the buy or goodbye mindset. And I want to share with you one example of seeing that in action, right? I signed up for this brand, German car accessories, and with their pop-up, which, everyone tells you to do, add a quiz or a survey asking me what I'm here for, what brand is your car, Audi, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, I selected BMW, and my email experience after I selected BMW had no BMW in it. So just turning on a pop-up blindly because this is what everyone else is doing, they're asking a quiz and they're asking for email and phone number, it's just not a good experience. You're just following the crowd. You're a sheep, right? You're not following the right approach for pop-ups. You're just doing what everyone else does, but you don't have the right follow-up experience. You don't use the data in perpetuity. You're really just doing what someone tells you to do. I'm going to teach you how to use it in the right way, how to turn pop-ups from just a tactic into a acquisition and conversion engine. So you see right here, again, like I was saying, German Car Accessories sent me 0 emails about BMW. They told me a story about the owner who's a BMW owner, I guess, but nothing in my email series, my welcome series, had anything to do with BMW. So why even ask me? What's the point? That makes no point. Clearly, there's a mismatch between what they're learning and what they're actually doing to personalize and segment out the relationship with me. That's my own experience. Now let's get back into the roots of where pop-ups started. I'm not sure if you knew this, but Ethan Zuckerman created the first pop-up ad. One of those pop-ups you had in the 90s, year 2000s, right before the 2010s, when everyone started getting really annoyed. Ethan Zuckerman created the first pop-up ad, and the reason why it was created was it helped advertisers run display ads in separate windows, right? And then the original websites where it could be static or could be a website that talked about, I don't know, pet food, for example. But advertisers can now run a pop-up on that even if they were selling, shirts or they were selling biking gear or something. So the pop-up was like an ad, kind of like what Google Display does now, except it's more embedded and kind of more relevant these days. But the pop-up was there for advertisers to advertise anywhere. And on top of that, the original websites that were built were very static. There was a lot of dev work needed to actually code in, a personalized experience. And it was reserved for the top brands until like the year 2010 or so. Websites were pretty static, and updating the messaging required devs. So brands needed a faster way to personalize their experiences. So aside from just the pop-ups they had for all these advertisers wanting to advertise on their site, they also created their own pop-ups, and they just popped up, and there wasn't very good logic, and it just kept annoying everyone. And there was dozens and dozens of pop-ups all the time, to the point where you got all these pop-up blockers, right? I'm not sure if you remember those days, but it was the Wild West of the internet. And over time, though, pop-ups emerged as more dynamic overlays, and it actually became a lot better. But it was extremely annoying to face the pop-up. And even now, to this day, pop-ups can be viewed as extremely annoying if it's not really personalized to me, or they're not paying attention to what I've said before or what I'm doing right now. So the state of pop-ups today, though, is before, aggressive timing, no personalization, irrelevant, bad UX, mobile, unfriendly experiences. Today, you have pop-up providers that are no code. You don't need to code anything. It's swipe and deploy in many cases. Klaviyo does it for you. Alia Popups does it. It's personalized and segmented. It's behavioral. I've worked with pop-ups that were even AI enhanced and super personalized, right? Some of the pop-up providers aren't at that level yet. I was a VP of retention at multiple 9 and 10 figure brands, the top 1%. So I had access to some tools that are really intricate and AI personalized. Some pop-up providers are getting there, but today they're AI enhanced and they're also omni-channel integrated. So that's the state of pop-ups today. It's come a long way. Before, Ethan Zuckerman kind of destroyed that pop-up experience. It soured a lot of people, but now it's been a lot more refined and much more enhanced. Now, when you understand what a pop-up does, go to the root of it. The main goal of a pop-up is not to actually just convert people. It's meant to turn random visitors into real people you can market to. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I could do a whole separate video and podcast on this. But if you ever look deep into Klaviyo or into any ESP you're on, there's all this anonymous data there of customers just like you and me that are pixeled, that have a cookie on their site. And Klaviyo understands exactly what you did even before you came to the site. And when they arrive on the site, on your site, they actually see what you're viewing, what you're carting, what you're browsing, what channels brought you here. They see all that data, but it's anonymous until someone signs up. And then all that anonymous data is unlocked. So all that information they have about your subscribers is waiting for you. But the minute it becomes available is when you actually turn that visitor into a real person. And that's the magic behind it. You don't want to have a visitor, an anonymous visitor on your site right now from Google or Meta. You want to have a real person, and it is a real person, but you need to be able to identify them. So pop-ups do exactly that. They're really a conversion mechanism. It's a customer intelligence tool. It's an identity resolution tool. And it's an entry point to a relationship you can build with someone, a real person. Before, it was just a visitor from an ad. It was a click. It was a session. Now, with pop-ups, you're converting that session, that anonymous visitor, into someone you can actually market to and build a relationship with. That's the magic behind it. And I'm very passionate about that because my mission is to help brands build better customer relationships using email and SMS, right? It's very easy to send an email, very easy to send a text. Anyone can do it. The magic behind email SMS retention at the high level is about building better customer relationships. So a pop-up is a great starting point for that. So here's what email pop-ups actually accomplish for you. It identifies anonymous visitors. It unlocks first-party data. It enables retargeting, right? You can now send retargeting flows instead of relying on ads to retarget them. It triggers welcome flows and starts a journey and nurture series for your subscribers. And it builds owned audiences. Now you actually own the audience. It's not earned or paid. Earned from social media, organic social, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. And it's not paid media, so it's not from Google ads or Meta ads, so you actually have to pay them more money to actually market to that audience. Now you own it. And like I said, because of that, it reduces dependence on paid ads right there. So now that you know the basic and genesis of pop-ups, what they do for your brand, and how they're way beyond just kind of capturing an email subscriber, which is extremely valuable. Don't get me wrong, extremely valuable, but it does so much more than that. Now let's talk about the 6 ingredients for a high-performing email pop-up. And if you build all 6, you'll win subscribers for life. You'll probably get your pop-up rate anywhere from 5% to 15% easily. So ingredient number 1, you need to have a clear value proposition, aka an offer. Okay, there's many times brands don't get the pop-up rates they expect or they want to get because they haven't dialed in the offer. They don't exactly know what offer to do. So they look around and they say 10% is okay, 15%, 20%, all right. All that is good. But my main recommendation here is you always got to zero in on what your best offer is. And in order to understand what your best offer is, you need to test. You need to find out what ads are driving the best demand. What are the offers? What's your customer acquisition cost? What can you offer from a margin point of view? And also, this is something not many people do. Use your existing email list to test your offers. Is it a discount? Is it educational content? Is it product recommendations? Is it mystery offers, VIP access, early access, bundles, right? What exactly is the offer that's most attractive to your list? So if you have an existing email list, go on a month of offer testing. Find out what is the right offer to test, run it out, see what the demand is, see what, how they react. Not just do they claim the offer, but also do they actually convert from the offer that they've claimed. So the clear value proposition is so important. And this isn't the branding part. The brand that you have, the look and feel of your pop-up, you can test that all the time. And that's subjective, right? If you want it look a certain way, go for it. That's fine. But the real magic is in the offer. It's not in the design of your pop-up. It's in the offer of your pop-up. So really make sure that you have a clear value proposition, a clear reason for signing up, and that offer is attractive enough. I've seen brands have an unattractive offer, right? I actually saw a brand recently that they were running a 25% off sale, and across the site, you didn't need a coupon at all, and their pop-up was 20% off. So obviously the pop-up, the sign-up rate tanked, because why would I sign up for 20% when you're giving me 25%? That's a clear mismatch behind what you're offering on the site versus what you're offering to attract a new subscriber. Hammer that out, because then you're just losing subscribers at that point. So if you don't know the perfect way to mix and match your offers, test it. You have an email list for that reason. I used to do a ton of offer testing on my email list because it's free. It's a free list to test on. See what their demand is, see what they react to, discount content, early access, free shipping, you name it. Try it out there, get your offer, and start with that building block ingredient. Ingredient number 2, the perfect timing before they drop off. You want to make sure that you're triggering your pop-ups at the best possible time, not just randomly. Okay, you need to go to your site, go to your Google Analytics, go to your Shopify, wherever you find your analytics, and find what is the time when most of your visitors or subscribers drop off. Is it after 8 seconds, 25 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes, 3 seconds. Find the right time that they're dropping off and make sure your pop-up is 2 to 3 seconds before that drop-off. Because what's happening is if you're not timing your pop-ups to capture them before they're gone, what's the point? They're gone. Sometimes, you're going to find brands that are kind of like thinking to themselves, well, I don't have a pop-up that's annoying to me. Well, you're one person and you're on the site all the time. So your opinion needs to be on the side a little bit. What are your customers telling you? What are your subscribers and visitors telling you? If they're abandoning the site after 8 seconds of being on your homepage, your pop-up needs to come up at number 4 or 5 seconds once they get there, as soon as possible, because you need to continue to build a relationship offline, via email, via text. Find the best timing. When is their bounce timing? Find the timing based on when they're scrolling. If there's a scroll depth that they're getting to, 30% of the site they've scrolled, 50% of the site, time the pop-up to launch then, depending on how your site is built. Exit intent. Are they about to exit and you need to kind of capture them before they leave? That's another great time. And then also engagement behavior. Are they browsing more pages? Where do they come from? Are they coming from Google Ads and driving back to a PDP page? Well, then your pop-up may want to be timed a little bit differently because they're about to shop and they're in shopping mode. Whereas if they come from an ad to the homepage, well, you may want to get them right away because you can't shop on a homepage, for some brands. So the engagement behavior is also important. My recommendations, 3 to 5 seconds is when you trigger a pop-up right away. Get in there right away. They can always X out. Have a pop-up for exit intent as well, not a pop-up for acquisition, but also a pop-up for exit intent. Have one of each. Trigger when they scroll 50% of the website as well. And when they're on the site for a very long time, trigger again. After 30 seconds on the site, they didn't sign up, trigger again. Like, keep track of what you're looking at, save your spot, sign up, right? So those are my recommendations. Perfect timing before they drop up is critical. It's the second most critical ingredient. Offer first, timing second. Number 3, make sure your pop-ups are mobile optimized and personalized by device. Do not use one universal pop-up design. Do not use one universal layout. One universal experience is not good. Okay, many times the desktop version on your mobile phone is total shit. It just looks terrible. It's too small, right? Some we have some clients that their average age of their customers are about 60 years old. They can't see these little, numbers and sign up things. I can barely see it, and you need to have a different experience for desktop and mobile and even iPad. Your mobile experience needs to be entirely differentiated than your desktop experience. Best practice is mobile first design, thumb-friendly forms, things that you can kind of type in with your thumbs, right? Things you can read, very clear, no checkboxes, things like that. You don't need that type of stuff. You just need submit, type in, something that's thumb-friendly, minimal typing, fast loading, clean UX, and large call to action buttons. As if you're on your iPhone, you need to have it very clear and nothing to scroll down. And the downside also is that sometimes when you scroll on a mobile device, you may X out the pop-up accidentally, right? So you don't want to have that. You want to have that every single pop-up is mobile optimized and it works really well. And then your desktop version is a whole different version. That's ingredient number 3. First is offer. Second is timing. Third is optimized per device. Ingredient number 4, use quizzes to get zero-party data. Now you're going to see this a lot nowadays, right? And many people are using quizzes and asking questions to get to know the person behind the inbox, and that's extremely important. So don't just collect emails. Know the person behind the inbox, and that's zero-party data. Customers telling you exactly what they're here for, what they're shopping. But there's a very big difference between asking something that is helpful now and asking for something that's helpful in perpetuity. So you see on the very top of my screen, if you're watching on video, you see there's a pop-up here that says you've got a mystery discount. To claim it, let us know, what are you most interested in shopping for today? And they ask a question of hammocks, picnic blankets, beach towels, or outdoor puffy blankets. Okay, that's nice and well. So we know that someone may select hammocks and they are in the market for hammocks today. Great. But that data is immediately outdated the minute they leave the site and the minute they don't buy. And remember what I told you at the beginning? We want to break free from that buy or goodbye mindset. So if I come to the site now and I say I'm interested in hammocks, well, number 1, we'll get to the welcome series after in a second about what you're talking about hammocks in the follow-up email, which you're probably not doing anything. But if I'm shopping for hammocks, well, think about it. Once I buy my hammock, what are the chances I'm going to buy a hammock again in the future? Probably 0 to none. It's pretty much the same, 1% to none. So what good was asking that question in the first place? Instead, a better quiz strategy is to ask, who are you? What lifestyle fits you? What's your biggest pain point? What are you trying to achieve? Something that you could use a little more psychographic data beyond just a product question. So Grunes does this amazing, and I like how they did it. They pieced it together. Unlock your 52% off. To claim it, share what problem you're trying to solve. So they said 4 options. I'm on a GLP-1, but I don't feel great. I want an easy nutrition solution, or I need gut health support, or I want to avoid an afternoon slump. That's giving you information about the customer in perpetuity. Now they know that every email they send out could have content, copy, creatives all around health support or all around afternoon slump. Now we have more data we can use in perpetuity. So now if I just ask for a hammock or I'm interested in shopping for a beach towel, that data is outdated the minute you ask it. Okay, it's like driving a car off the lot. The minute they drive the car off the lot, it loses 30% of its value. Same here. The minute you ask a question, unless you're personalizing the experience after that, which you probably are not, based on the example I shared with you before, there's no point in that data. So bad or okay quiz strategy, ask what you're shopping for today. But a better approach is to ask, what are you trying to achieve? What's your biggest pain point? That's the magic behind quizzes. Get zero priority data you can use in perpetuity. That's ingredient number 4. So ingredient number 1, offer. Then ingredient number 2, timing. Ingredient number 3, you want to have mobile optimized per device. Ingredient number 4, zero party data. Ingredient number 5, you want to capture email and SMS in one shot. And you can see on my screen, there's Avi right here who does a great job with the pop-up. You've got 20% off, submit your email. They did a scratch off, I believe, at the time. And they also have signing up for SMS. Now, why is this important? And you as a customer or a person may actually hate texts, or you may hate email, but you cannot paint everyone with that brush. You need to understand that if you only collect email, you rely on one inbox, one algorithm, one communication channel, one form of attention. You're only communicating with that person in one channel. If you capture email and phone number, you now have multiple channels. You're becoming omni-channel. SMS gives you immediate attention. It's faster action. It's a shorter path to conversion and allows you for more real-time communication, shorter characters, more demand, higher click rate, higher engagement rate. SMS is a much higher engagement rate than email, but they go really well hand in hand too. But most importantly, it's 2 channels to communicate with subscribers on, and that's really important. Now, Avi, what they did also is they did a survey and they did a quiz that says sign up for email and SMS. And also, if you take our survey on top of that, you'll get 25% off. And that's great. That's a great experience for certain subscribers. You have to test out what works best. What's the drop off, right? You want to have a friction-free experience. I'll get to that in a second. But capturing 2 channels for the price of 1 is worth it. You don't have to make it mandatory. They can say, you know what? I just want to sign up for email. I prefer not SMS, and that's fine. But as long as you're taking a shot at capturing 2 channels, that doubles the chances of you communicating with the subscriber and hedging yourself against the subscriber leaving your only communication channel entirely. So again, offer first. You want to have your perfect timing. You want to have pop-ups by device. You want to have quizzes, capture email, SMS in one shot. And let's now go to the 6th ingredient, which is a frictionless experience to drive conversions. It used to be that whenever someone signed up for the pop-up, you got their email, or you got their phone number, and what did you ask them to do? Go to your inbox to check your email and click on it to confirm you got it. And that's really important from a deliverability point of view. But to be honest, that should not be at the expense of showing the offer right there, getting them to the right destination, keeping them on the site, triggering your flows like your welcome flow, and beginning your personalization. You need to have a frictionless experience. Do not take them to the inbox if you don't need to. Keep them on your site. They're there. They came, they signed up, they're ready to shop. Get them there. Keep them going on that path. Again, it used to be that whenever they asked subscribers to go back to their inbox, the reason they asked them to click was because that it activated their cookie, as I said before, right? It activated their cookie, but you don't need that anymore because Klaviyo stores your anonymous data. It's already stored. All you need is for them to sign up. I don't need them to go back to their inbox to click the email. I don't need them to go back to their phone to click it. I don't need that action anymore. That was back in 2015, 2010. And I used to do that all the time. I asked customers go back to your inbox, click the email, and that activated all my cookies and tracking and everything like that. I don't need that anymore. So don't do it. So instead, within your pop-up, Show your coupon code. Get them to the next step. Get them to convert as soon as possible. And most importantly, don't get your pop-up to just either close or disappear. Take them to the next step. Don't keep them at the home page. Think of it like this. I always use an example of going to a retail store because I think we all understand that. Whenever I went into, let's say, a Best Buy, right, what happened is that if there was a coupon code, let's give an example. If someone comes over and says, here, thanks for coming in, here's 20% off. Now, if they walked away, I'd be standing there with 20% off and not sure where to go from here. I don't really need anything, but where do I go from here? I want you, the salesperson, to guide me by the hand and say, hey, what can I help you find? There's 20% off on Apple chargers right now. You know, one of these gateway products that everyone needs. Everyone needs a charger. Why not? Grab a charger. So take them by the hand and take them into the store. If you leave them at the homepage or leave them at the entrance of the store, they're not doing anything. They don't even know where to go. They don't even know where to start, right? You see right here, Dr. Squatch on my screen, after their pop-up goes live, which they didn't do, but they should be doing, we should be linking them back to their best sellers. Use your 20% off on these best-selling items, on these starter bundles. That's what a starter bundle is, right? This is where you start. That's the whole point of it. Link back to starter bundles. Link back to all bundles. Increase your AOV, right? Average order value goes up. They have a coupon code. Winner, winner. Guide them deeper into the store. Show them best-selling collections, right? Category pages, personalized products, bundles, more quizzes to ask more information about them if you feel you need to. So that is the frictionless experience you need to have on your pop-ups. Give them the offer, give them the code, get them to go deeper into the store. So again, offer, first ingredient, timing, mobile-friendly device, making sure you have a email and SMS capture, quizzes to get zero-party data, and finally, ingredient number 6, frictionless experience. That is the most important part. Now you understand how to build a really high-performing pop-up and get your signups from 5 to 15%. Now I'm going to teach you the secret email pop-up hacks of the top 1% of brands, the brands I worked at, the brands I sat in rooms with, Sephora, Nike, Jockey, Best Buy, Autorama, B&H Photo, thousands of brands. I taught on this at eTail East and eTail West. I'm going to take you from 15% signups to 25% signup rates right now. Here's the 4 hacks that they do at their brand, and you can get there too. Sometimes you actually have the tools at your fingertips. You can use Klaviyo to do some of this. You can use Alia Popups to do some of this. And they're actually, even if they're not there yet, they will get there pretty quickly. So hack number one is trigger different email pop-ups by traffic source. And many times you are getting traffic to your business from so many different places. And the bigger of a brand you are, the more sources, right? But maybe when you're starting out your 6-figure, 7-figure brand, you're getting traffic from your ads, from paid ads, paid search, paid social, right? Maybe TikTok. You gain traffic organically from social. You're getting traffic from SEO, direct. So many different sources, not a ton, but so many different basic sources. But when you're a 9 and 10 figure brand, maybe you're using affiliates and slick deals, and maybe you have a store, multiple stores, and you're getting traffic from the stores coming to your site. So you have so many different traffic sources. You should be targeting different email pop-ups to your different source. Great example you see on my screen right here. Let's say you're using influencers and your influencers are driving traffic to your site, right? I have this great offer for 20% off. Go back to the site and go shop. Well, make sure your link that you gave them has a UTM parameter built out. And then anytime someone comes from that link with the UTM parameters, you can actually show a pop-up that says, hey, loved Sarah? Sign up for Sarah's exclusive picks via email. Sign up for an exclusive deal from Sarah. And there you go. Now you're capturing that subscriber in a better way. That's how you get to 25-30% sign-up rates, because now they're like, oh yeah, I just saw Sarah. I love what she said. I came to the site. Now I'm going to find the actual items that Sarah shops. Just an example right there. You can also do it for meta ads, right? Meta ads has a higher friction audience, right? More of a pull audience, right? You have to pull them out. They're on social media. They're not really shopping. And it doesn't convert at a super high level. So maybe your pop-up for anyone who's coming from meta ads should be stronger offers, more education, more urgency. Google ads traffic, though, is more higher intent. So maybe the offers could be more simpler. Something you've tested that works, but doesn't have to, blow your margins. Maybe less discounting. Maybe a white paper. Maybe a book, educational content, something. Test that out. So different audiences, different traffic sources should have different email pop-ups. You could do this in Klaviyo or Alia Popups right now. This isn't rocket science. You can actually do this right now. I've built this out for every brand we work with. Hack number 2, target your email pop-ups by customer LTV. This is a great one. No one does this. If you go back to what I talked about before, which is why I always use the history. I always go back into the genesis of things so I understand it before I build on it. You got to go down to the foundation before you build something else. And don't just listen to people saying like, hey, put this font in your pop-ups and add this call to action and put your logo in there. You'll get more higher signups, blah, blah, blah. We want to go back to the reason behind it. And the reason behind pop-ups originally, as I said before, was that we get to personalize the experience for our customers. And not many people have the potential or capability to personalize their entire site experience to every single subscriber or every single customer. That's reserved for the top brands. You know, with those dynamic algorithms you see on the site that show, hey, come back to see what you're shopping before, or we think these items are perfect for you, John or Jim, right? They can do this at the top brands. They have the money and the luxury. What you can do, though, is personalize your email pop-ups to customers that are coming back on your site if you can identify their segment. So pull out a segment in Klaviyo, call that your VIP buyers, your high LTV buyers, and personalize the pop-up to them when they come back to the site. You can personalize based on purchase history, browsing behavior, product affinity, or even what they have in the cart. So a great example on my screen you see right here, if I know I built out a segment of VIP subscribers, whenever that VIP subscriber comes back to the site, I'm not going to target them with an acquisition offer. I'm going to just say, hey, John, welcome back. I don't know if you could put the first name in this one. I've done it with the first name in there, dynamic on a one-to-one level. Again, that's reserved for the top 1%. I hope it comes to the smaller pop-up vendors too. But I can personalize my pop-up to who they are, the stage they're in. Hey, VIP, welcome back. So good to see you again. Here, continue where you left off. If you can show an item that they had in cart to get them to finish their order, here's where you left off. Hey, VIP, welcome back. We just launched these new arrivals. I think you'll love them. Click to new arrivals. That VIP customer now has a personalized experience from your pop-ups, and it's not about acquiring the email. It's about turning your pop-ups into not just acquisition machine, but a retention machine. So target your email pop-ups by customer LTV as well. Hack number 3. No one does this, and they should. Oh my God. I'm shocked no one does this at the level we do it because they just don't think about it. And again, it just shows the email bro science here that the pop-up is everything, but reality is it's not the pop-up. It's the experience after you pop up, after you get them. Anyone can acquire an email. I'll get you emails all the time and give you phone numbers. The magic is in personalizing your welcome series by the zero-party data that they just filled out. You see on my screen a pop-up from Garden Cup where they say you've got a mystery discount. What is your primary interest in Garden Cup? And 4 questions, again, based on psychographic data. My primary interest is either convenience or clean eating or nutrition or something else. So most brands, I would say 99% of brands, they get that data and they send the same old welcome series they send to everyone. Exact same creatives, exact same messaging. What you need to get to, and what the top brands are doing, is they personalize the welcome series by the data that they have submitted. So if I submitted convenience as my primary interest in Garden Cup, the welcome series copy, creatives, messaging, product recommendations, SMS copy, and offers should all be based around convenience. If I select clean eating, everything in my welcome series should talk about clean eating. And you could branch it together again later on. But the very first email should talk about what I signed up for. Why am I here? And if you're not doing that, it's a wasted opportunity because the money's in the follow-up. If they don't convert from the pop-up or you're not showing an offer in the pop-up, then you're relying totally on the follow-up. And the follow-up is disconnected, you lost them. They're gone. They're done. And then they're just discount hunters, to be honest, right? They're here for a discount. So personalize the follow-up to show that you're listening and not just talking at someone, because most brands talk at someone. By personalizing the welcome series, it shows you're actively listening to them and showing a relevant email and follow-up to what they inquired about, just like you're talking to someone in the store. Someone in the store comes over and says, hey, what can I help you find? Oh, I'm trying to find the most organic fruits you have. Organic fruits, you got it. Let me show you the organic fruit area and talk you through exactly what to find here and what we sell. See how personalized that is? Much better than saying, oh, okay, they're aisle 5, go. It's a better experience, and that's all email is, replicating the in-store experience online. That's hack number 4, personalize the welcome series by zero-party data. Sorry, that was hack number 3. Finally, hack number 4, layer in identity resolution to get more signups. You need to get more signups, and your pop-up alone, as great as it is, it probably will never eclipse 15 to 20%. It probably won't, right? Exit intent maybe gets you higher numbers, but it's such a smaller window, right? You may get 30 to 40% sign-up rate, but it's a very small amount of traffic, right? Exit intent, that's how exit intent works. It's only people who are exiting that it pops up again. So the top brands, add in an identity resolution tool like retention.com, one of my favorites. I'm great partners with them. We always use them. And retention.com allows you to double your email list, no extra traffic, identify high intent anonymous website visitors, even if they don't fill out a form. And there's a lot of brands that do that. Customers.ai, Black Crow AI, a lot of tools do that. I think retention.com does it the best. But identity resolution allows you to identify anonymous visitors to your site, recover partially known traffic, reconnect traffic to profiles, trigger email journeys, and retarget smarter. How does it work? Well, in a nutshell, pretty much, let's say you have 100 visitors on your site right now. Your pop-up captures, let's say 15% if you follow my 6 ingredients. But out of those 15%, you still have 85 that have not signed up. Well, retention.com identifies those people, knows their email address, and sends you their email address. And it's completely legal. You can go to their terms and conditions, but generally how it operates is that there's all these third-party email platforms you signed up for, either from insurance or banking or credit card submission, and all these terms and conditions you never read. Somehow you're on a list. So they can tap into that identity graph and pull that email and send it to you legally. So totally legal. Do they convert on a high level? That's a different topic. Right now we're growing the list. So layering identity resolution is how you get more signups onto your list. And that's you get a 25-30% emails captured from all the traffic on your site. So that's hack number 4. Layer in identity resolution software or apps to get more signups. So now you've learned my $100 million email pop-up playbook, and let's do some takeaways from this episode so you remember what to do next. Number 1, you want to start with by ditching the buy or goodbye mindset. You want to make sure you don't let traffic you're paying for leave your site without some sort of relationship exchange. No more buy or goodbye. No more paying Meta and Google money to bring people to your site and then paying them more money to bring them back. The pop-up is there to capture the data and start this relationship exchange. Turn that visitor into a person you can market to. Number 2, you want to add my 6 pop-up ingredients, making sure you go from just having a pop-up to having a real acquisition and conversion machine. You want to have the offer, the timing, the device optimization, the right target audience, great zero-party data there. You're asking real information. You have a great follow-up, and you're actually creating a frictionless experience as well. And then lastly, if you want to advance to the top 1% level, you leave your comparison in the dust. You have 4 list growth pop-up hacks, right? Target by UTM parameter, target by traffic source, get identity resolution there, create a better welcome series that gets them to convert faster. All that is how you advance to the top 1% level. If you want to learn 13 specific tactics to grow your email and SMS list really fast, you can scan the QR code. We're dropping this into our school community. It's a brand new community, and it happens to be that we're giving away currently, as of today, up until about June 30th, we're giving away a lifetime access to our school community where you learn all the secret email SMS retention tactics, strategies, and systems of the top 1% of brands, the brands I actually built it at. I'm dropping all the information into that community, and it's yours for $99, one-time fee, lifetime access from now until the end of June. Scan the QR code, go to school, check it out, and really start growing your list really fast with this episode and with these 13 list growth hacks. Thank you for joining me on this video, on this episode. I hope you got a lot out of it. It's a great way to start turning your pop-ups from just kind of another tactic into an actual machine of acquisition and retention. And really, it's the start of turning your one-time and sometime buyers into lifetime buyers every time and half the time. Thanks for joining. I will see you on the next episode.